cultivated the mind until the hindrances are cleared, then you see, this attainment depends on your level of jhana you attain. See, the Sotapanna does not need jhana, according to the sutta, right? They just hear the Dhamma and they attain. Whereas the Sakadagami, they need a lower level. They may not have all the 4 jhanas, maybe they have 1 jhana, and then they suppress the sensual lust and the ill will. But the Anagami must have the 4 jhana, and the Arahant must have the 4 jhana. That is extremely rare. And either that person has already developed the 4 jhanas this lifetime or previous lifetime. You see, for example, in the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha said that if you practice Satipatthana, you will either attain Anagami or Arahanthood in 7 years, 6 years, 5 years, down to 7 days, The minimum was mentioned was 7 days, right? Yet, if you study the Vinaya, you find that the 6 Arahant, the Buddha helped to enlighten, the number 6 after the 5 bhikkhus, was a monk called Yasa. And this Yasa was a person who had very great paramis. He must have already done a lot of cultivation in his past life. Because in the Vinaya, what happened was, the Buddha somehow I think the Buddha used his psychic power to make this Yasa come to him. This Yasa was like the Buddha. He was from a very well-to-do family, so he was surrounded by slaves and women who attended to him all the time. So one night, when all these attendants, slaves and musicians and all that fell asleep, in the middle of the night he woke up, maybe by the help of the Buddha. Middle of the night he woke up, then he looked around him, all these slaves and all these women are lying around like corpses. Because these people in India, when people are dead, they throw into the jungle and the animals will eat them. So it's not uncommon to see corpses. So when he saw all these slaves, all these women sleeping around him, some with their mouth open, some with the saliva coming down, and some snoring and all that, and he looked at the hair all. So he looked at them, they really looked like corpses. So because of past cultivation, this thing impressed him as dukkha, So he said to himself, dukkha, dukkha. So he was disgusted, he didn't want to stay there. He walked out of his big mansion. He walked out, and then I think probably the Buddha or Devas helped him to go into the jungle to see the Buddha. So when he went to see the Buddha, he was saying dukkha, dukkha. The Buddha said, come here. Yes, sir, come here. There's no dukkha here. So when he heard there's no dukkha, quickly he was very happy to come near the Buddha. So when he sat near the Buddha talked to him Dhamma. When the Buddha talked to him Dhamma, very soon he became a Sotapan, stated in the Vinaya. So after he attained stream entry, after that he stayed with the Buddha. Then the next day, his father was worried for him. So his father went out looking for him, thought what happened to him, because probably he comes from such a rich family. He thought he was kidnapped or something. So his father went out of the city gates and went looking for him, and then found his slippers along the way. Found his slippers, and then his father started walking, and then came to the Buddha also. And the Buddha used his psychic power and asked the father to sit down. The father said he was looking for his son. Buddha made him asked him to sit down, but used his psychic power to block the sun from his view. Although the son was sitting beside the Buddha, the father couldn't see him. So the Buddha said, sit here, sit down here. Maybe you'll find your son. So when he heard the Buddha say, maybe I'll find my son, he thought this is a holy man, can't be lying. So he sat down there. Then the Buddha spoke Dhamma to him. When the Buddha spoke Dhamma to him, he became a Sotapan. At the same time, as his son was hearing the Dhamma, his son became an Arahant. So this is one of the rare cases, somebody come to hear the Dhamma, 2 days only became an Arahant. This kind of rare case is not the general case. Is the exception. You see. So there are always exceptions, but the thing is you cannot use exceptions to make the rule. Yes, the rule is that, the general rule is that, for example, a person must cultivate the Aryan Eightfold Path. Yes, and all the 8 factors must be there, including the 4 jhanas. But if somebody has already cultivated maybe very high jhanas up to arupa jhanas in the previous life, when he comes into this life, his mind is very clear,